So a lot of people, especially Tonkasaw's co-hosts, always believe everything he says, but I think it's time to shine the light of truth upon little Tonkasaw and let you guys see what a liar he is. Roll the footage.
Tonka, I got a question for you, buddy.
For me or for Tonka?
No, Tonka. I wanted to ask him about something. I want to ask him about a lie that he told Tonka. Tonka, please, don't hide from the truth. Tonka, you told me earlier that you were 6.
Nigga, don't you have a swing set to sniff somewhere?
Tonka, I was 6. Tonka, I want to know if you grew. Tonka, I want to know if you grew 2 inches. Tonka, why you mute me? Tonka, you scared of the truth? What's wrong, buddy? You getting triggered? Tonka. All right, I'll post. People in chat can listen, I guess. Since Tonka's afraid of the truth here.
Wait.
Seems to be spam muting me.
Did the host of this fucking stream really fucking leave?
He definitely did, yep.
Holy
So
fucking...
wait. I do think Steve should at least answer to the tweets that you guys said that he wrote earlier.
Oh, I just want to know. I want to know why Tonka lied.
Come on, Tonka, let him talk.
Oh, God.
I want to know why Tonka lied about how tall he is.
When did I lie about how tall I was?
Watch the link that I just posted in chat. Watch it. You admit in that link, you say you're 6'1" in there. Why'd you tell me you're 6'2"?
In a pro wrestling interview? I've already said I had to scale myself down because everybody else built theirs. You're an idiot.
Pro wrestling interview? Now that's a laughable joke. At this point in time, I went ahead and I did some more digging, and I found out that this wrestling interview that was professional, as Tonka claimed, was this thing on YouTube called Jay Talks with Robbie Vio, or Vio, in the car. And it didn't add up to me, because this doesn't look professional, but you guys tell me.
That's only because fucking David was undershooting it at EOW, and I was like, Jesus Christ, don't under fucking shoot me. You know, I'm not that big. Don't make me seem smaller than I am.
What they call you, 5'10" or something like that?
Yeah,
It was to make Eric look taller.
he said I was fucking 5'10", 152 pounds. I was like, Jesus Christ, David, I'm fucking itty bitty. I'm fucking, 6'1". You know, I'm 6'1". You know, I weigh 170 pounds. Go with that shit.
Go with that shit. I'm 6'1". This is a clip that he claims was a professional wrestling interview. As you can see, it clearly is not. It's two guys bullshitting in a car. And it's filmed on a Nokia Potato. As you can see, this further proves how full of shit Tonka really is, and how he continues to lie about everything. Even a wrestling interview.
Tonka, when
Oh
they
my
build pro
God,
wrestlers,
you're dumb.
they scale their height up. You're going the wrong way.
Unless I am a lightweight and I am too tall for some of the ones who are building themselves up, they scale the height, you schmuck.
So they don't even take your height before you go into the ring, or what? You just
It's
tell them
not
whatever?
real, you idiot.
How do I know the height you're telling me right now is real, Tonka?
Oh, fuck.
Tonka, I got you right here outside a car telling some dude that you're 6'1". Why'd you tell me you're 6'2.5", Tonka?
That's a fucking wrestling interview, you schmuck.
Tonka, why are you lying to me, dude?
Is that a wrestling interview? Are you watching a wrestling interview? A pro wrestling interview? A worked wrestling interview?
Again, pro wrestling interview. And thanks again, Tonka, for confirming that you are, in fact, Robbie Vio. Because he specifically mentions an interview in a car and you saying you're 6'1". And then there's a guy that's saying he's 6'1", doing an interview in a car. And it's literally your voice.
Act interview. Are you watching that? Is that what
Tonka,
you're
I'm
watching?
just curious why you're lying to me, dude.
I'm asking you if you're looking at the same thing I'm looking
So
at
did
here.
you
Where
lie
is
in
it
the interview,
act?
Tonka?
Yes, it's fucking wrestling, you idiot!
Why do you keep calling yourself a champion then, Tonka?
Because it's fucking. You're trying to say I was a failed wrestler. I had belts everywhere I went, you idiot.
Tonka, you were scripted to win the belt.
Yes, Steve, it's wrestling. You know that's fake, right?
Yeah, so why do you keep bragging about it when you were just written to the script as the winner? I don't understand.
The same reason that actors will claim stuff on their awards. When you're good, you get
No,
shit.
when you're good, you win an award for acting, but you're trying to say like you had belts for fighting. You didn't have belts for fighting. You had belts for acting.
No, I said wrestling belts. No, I
Yeah,
didn't
but
stick around in MMA long enough to get.
Oh no, you didn't mishear him. He didn't stay in MMA long enough to earn a belt. And he is, in fact, a professional fighter. It wasn't all fake. He had a flawless fighting career, according to what he said multiple times on the Kumite. But let's go ahead and see how real that fighting career is, and that promoter career. So I'm going to let you guys listen to a phone call that I made today.
Alabama Athletic Commission.
Hi, I run a fight promotion company up here in New York. It's the New York Fight Exchange. My name is Seth Wallace. We deal mostly with small venues for semi-professional MMA and wrestling events. And I've had this guy that's been coming up here and talking himself up as a fighting promoter, a former MMA fighter, and a wrestling champion. I've been able to find some laughable YouTube fights in his name, but nothing at the level he claims. And I just wanted to call in and check with you guys to make sure if this person ever held a professional fighting license in your state or a promoter license with your athletic division. Because this person is basically asking me for a job, and I just want to make sure I'm not being lied to by some kind of shyster or fake. I want to make sure that everything's on the up and up so I don't end up getting screwed in the end.
And what's the individual's name?
His name is Robbie Pilkington. It's the Pilkington is just Pilkington. And he's basically said that he's been fighting out of your, I guess, athletic division for a few years, and that he also was a professional fight promoter.
Okay, give me 1 second, and I will see. The name doesn't sound familiar off the top of my head, but...
Yeah, I've also spoke with the Tennessee Athletic Commission, and they can't seem to find any record of him at all. So I just wanted to make sure the Alabama Commission might have had a record for him. He claimed that he was a fight promoter, that he also did wrestling promotion, professional wrestling, and he had a bunch of belts, and that he also wrestled in MMA, and he made a lot of money in MMA, and that he had a very strong MMA record. And I just want to make sure this guy isn't bullshitting my people.
I don't have a record, and it's Pilkington.
Yes, that's what his name is.
I don't have any record of him, period.
I'm not surprised. He also wrestled under the name Robbie Vio. It's Robivio. Robbie Vio. He wrestled in the I guess, backyard wrestling sports or something like that, and that's all I could find on YouTube of him.
Let's see. Okay, the only person that's ever wrestled here that's remotely close to that is a Robert Strauss, and he was a TNA. So that wouldn't be him. His stage name was Robbie E, so it wouldn't have been him.
Yeah, I can't say that I'm a bit shocked here that none of this actually adds up. None of the things that he said was really adding up. He was claiming that he could get this fight set up really easily, and he could set up all these fight licenses and completely bypass the surety bond and stuff. And he acted like he could set up a fight in your state or Tennessee in a few weeks without any real issues because he had connections to the fighting commission.
That's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, I always thought it was a joke to begin with, but this guy he keeps talking himself up to my fighters.
I just checked our national, not our national, but our master database, which has every person that we've ever licensed in it, and his name did not come up.
Yeah, once again, I can't say that I'm honestly surprised here at this point. And your name is, by the way, just for my records?
Jody McCormick, Executive Director.
All right, thank you, Jody. I hope you have a nice day, and I appreciate you for doing this. Look out for me. Thanks.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too. So, after that call, I decided that Tonka is officially full of shit because the majority of his fake wrestling fights were in Alabama and Georgia. So I know he's going to use this excuse already. He's going to say, oh, well, I fought MMA in Georgia or maybe Tennessee because that's where he wanted me to fly to. He claimed that he knew somebody in Tennessee that could skip all the red tape and he could book a fight for me and him and that this could be set up in like a week. So let's just do some due diligence. Let's move on to Tennessee.
Hello, this is Glenn Kopchik with Commerce and Insurance. How may I help you?
Hi, Glenn. Do you have anything to do with the Tennessee Athletic Commission?
I do.
Hi, my name is Seth Wallace. I run a fight promotion company up here in New York. We're the New York Fight Exchange.
Yes, sir.
We deal mostly with small venues, with semi-professional MMA and wrestling events. And I've had this guy that has been coming up here looking for work. He's been putting himself out there as a fight promoter and a former MMA and wrestling champion. And I've been able to find some laughable YouTube fights about him, but nothing at the level that he claims. And I actually called the Alabama Athletic Commission yesterday, and I spoke with Jordy McCormick, and he couldn't find any record of the guy ever fighting ever on either name that he went by, but from his wrestling name to his actual name. And I was just wondering, I know that you guys have a database for all your licensing as far as for promotion and for boxing. If I could give you the guy's name, do you think you could look him up for me and see if he's actually legit or not? Okay. The first name that he goes by is his legal name, so it would be Robbie Pilkington, Robby, and his last name is Pilkington, Pilkington.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as you know, promotion and what this industry is kind of it's a small industry. A lot of it's referral based, and it's it's only a handful of folks typically that do these things in each state. And I'll just say off the top of my head, I don't recognize that name because I think we only have like 7 or 8. Well, maybe closer to 10 promoters now, and he's not listed among those. But I'll look him up right quick to make sure that there wasn't like a new app that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, he said that he did a lot of fighting promotion from around 2009 to it looks like he stopped doing any kind of fighting in 2014. I was able to find that he had done some stuff on cagematch.net, but I mean these were small time events. I think that you didn't even need licensing for them. They looked like they were done in like middle school gyms. They didn't look any like professional at all.
Right.
But then he kept saying that he stopped wrestling and he started doing fight promoting, and that he had his own wrestling ring, and he had his own like fighting division and stuff. Like this is the stuff I've seen through Twitter archives that people have sent me, because I started to do an investigation on the guy because I don't think he's legit. And he said that he did fight promotion in your state, he did fight promotion in Arizona, he did fight promotion in Alabama, and he also did it in Florida. And so far, every person I've called, they haven't been able to say it. He actually asked to book a fight with somebody, I'm going to say last month, and he was calling somebody out on a podcast and saying that he could book a fight with them. And then when I guess we're talking about setting it up, he implied that he had connections to the athletic division in both Alabama and Tennessee, and it just didn't add up to me because he didn't really seem to have any knowledge about the surety bond, the $10,000 surety bond for licensing. He didn't seem to have any real knowledge about actually getting the qualifications athletically for any kind of fighting license or promoter license or the licensing fees to have a venue. And he seemed like he could get this done in like a week, maybe 2. But
yeah,
no.
Yeah, that's laughable. That's when anybody in the business will, well, I mean, just how it is, but or just working with the fighters. I mean, I would love to see a card license in a week. That never happens.
I'd pay to see it in 3 weeks. This guy acted like he could just like that.
Yeah, he gave himself away with that one, didn't he?
Yeah.
No, he's not on our list.
Yeah, he's not on your list. As a fighter and a promoter, he's not on your list?
Now, as a promoter, he is not. Let me look at the fighter piece. I don't even recognize, honestly, I don't recognize him even as a fighter. But that could be, I thought that's quite a little bit more extensive, obviously, than.
Yeah, he's a jack of all trades when it comes to bullshitting.
Right, it sounds like it. All right, let me see. Give me just a second.
Yeah, I've literally got him on a podcast in January, and he's going, yeah, I got so many belts when I did backyard wrestling. I had more belts than I could put my name on it. And the guy was laughing at him. He goes, what do you got, the belts above your bed? Do they say, like, champion 2001, 2003? You realize that's all fake, and you're getting a belt for acting, right? It's not for fighting.
Right.
And then he goes, yeah, I was in the MMA, but I didn't stay long enough to actually win a belt. And I'm like, you realize when you fight and compete in MMA, it's all recorded. I can get
Yeah, I
your
mean, you got
license lookup.
BoxRec and everything else, you know. I mean, it's then you've got FightFacts and other reporting agencies that report all of that,
Yeah, you
So
can
it's
just
not
go to
like,
mixedmartialarts.com. They have a fighter
yeah,
database for even
that's
the
right, that's right.
semi-professional people.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm surprised he would make those kind of bold claims without realizing that all that stuff can be verified.
He also
Let me
has
read
a
this thing.
bot. He also has like a wrestling name that he goes under too that I can give you to look up.
Yeah, I don't have him in the database at all. Not underneath Robbie Pilkington.
All right.
You
Do you have one under? I'm gonna say he goes by Robbie Vio. It's Robi, and then his last name is Vio, Vio.
Okay.
And I would assume you'd want to look that up as a promoter and as a fighter because.
All right. No. No, yeah, it's not neither. Well, we have modifiers for both, but it's all one system, and we put in those names, and I just don't recognize them either. I mean, that's since it is kind of a small thing. I look at all the cards, and that's he hasn't been on any of those, so I don't know. I mean, of course we don't regulate the amateur stuff, so that's a possibility. It's within the realm of possibilities. But even
No,
amateurs.
he claimed that he was professional, like professional
Oh
all the
no.
way. Professional MMA
Well,
fighter, professional fight promoter. It
yeah.
doesn't add up to me at all.
No, well, not here, not in this state.
All right,
So
I really appreciate you doing this lookup for me. And can I get your name again for my records?
sure, yeah, it's Glenn Kopchak, and then for further notification or verification, you can always go to verify.tn.gov, and our internal database reflects a public side for viewing, so that you can plug in other names or this guy included, and it'll tell you if he's listed. So if you have something else pop up and you just want to do research here, just go to verify.tn.gov, and then you can plug it all in right there. But yeah, Glenn Kopchak, Kopchak, and I'm the assistant director over combined centralized boards, but the director over athletic commission in particular as well. That's one of our boards, but
all right.
includes
Well,
them.
I really appreciate this, and you've definitely elucidated the matter that this guy Robbie Pilkington or Robbie Vio is most definitely full of shit when it comes to what he claims.
It sure does seem to be kind of trending in that direction, don't it?
Yeah. Thank you. You have a nice
All
day,
right.
Glenn, and
You
I
too.
appreciate that. Enjoy your
All right.
weekend.
Yes, sir. Take care now.
Bye. Kind of makes you wonder. Guy says he has connections in Tennessee. Says he can book a venue. Says he has connections and can cut the red tape. I mean, this is what he said when he initially offered me the fight when he got off stream. But as you can see, the Tennessee Athletic Commission has no fucking idea who he is, and from the way I've described him, they think he's full of shit. And now I'm sure you guys think he's full of shit too, but he's gonna use Georgia as an excuse next, so let's go to
Athletic Commission, this is Matt.
Hi, Matt. My name is Seth Wallace. I run a fight promotion company up here in New York, the New York Fight Exchange. We deal mostly in small venues and semi-professional MMA and wrestling events. And I've had this guy who has been talking himself up as a fight promoter and a former MMA fighter and even a wrestling champion. And I've been able to find some laughable YouTubes, just small fights with him, with like Live Wire X Wrestling, which is not even professional. I don't even think you need a license for that. But it's nothing at the level that he claims. And he claims to have fought out of Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. And I just spoke with Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama, and they have no record of him ever fighting professionally or being a fight promoter. And I was wondering if you could look through your database and see if this person has ever fought professionally with MMA or wrestling in your state and or have had a fight promoter's license, I guess.
Yeah, sure. What's the guy's name?
All right. His the first name that he goes under is Robbie Pilkington. It's his legal name, so it's Robby Pilkington, Pilkington. He claimed that he had a flawless professional MMA record of I think 3 or 4-0, and that he had a flawless fighting record, multiple belts. He had belts in every single state and division. But I mean, then I look him up on YouTube, and he's getting a single power bomb, and the guy can't even walk after that. And it's hilarious. This guy claims that he's fighting at a professional level. He doesn't seem like he's fighting at even an amateur level.
So as an MMA fighter, I don't have anything in our system under his name. I also pulled him up based off the name you gave me, entered into the MMA national database. That name didn't yield any results. As him being a professional wrestler, we don't sanction or license the wrestlers themselves. We only deal with the company, so the promotional company gets licensed.
Okay.
But the fighters themselves do not. So I can't answer that part if he has.
Was he ever a professional promoter for any kind of fight licensing?
Do you happen to know what his company may be under, if it was?
I don't think he ever had a company. I guess you could look it up under his name. In the other states, they just looked up his name to see if he was ever licensed to be a promoter.
Yeah, so the way our system works is it's by the promotional company, not the name.
I mean,
so that's why I'm saying
I'm pretty sure if he lied about it in all the other states, he probably never was a promoter either. Do you have anything under the name Robbie Vio? Robi, and the last name is Vio, Vio.
DIO or VIO?
VIO. V is in Violet.
Nope, we have no fighters under that name. And again, with the wrestling, like I said, we don't do the wrestlers themselves, and if it would have to be under the.
We're more focused on the fact that he claimed that he's an undefeated MMA fighter, and the guy's $170 and he's like 5'10", and he's telling me that he's undefeated, and I just think it's laughable. Just for my records, what was your name again and your position with the Fighting Commission?
My name's Matt, and I'm the Executive Director for the Georgia Athletic Commission.
All right, thank you. You have a good day.
Yep, you too.
So, there you go. He didn't fight professionally MMA in Georgia either. I mean, we already knew that because Tennessee looked him up in the national database, but we had to check wrestling too, and we had to check if he was a fight promoter. Now, unfortunately, Georgia has a different athletic commission thing where they actually have to register by their company name. But I could find no record of him ever owning a company in Georgia or anywhere else. We'll get to that later down the line. What I did find, I'm about to explain in the next clip, and you're gonna get a kick out of this one. So, being the asshole that I am, I decided to take a long, hard look into Tonkasalt's career, and I actually found out that he used to wrestle for a wrestling company called Livewire Wrestling. And when we found a bunch of videos about him, we decided to do a little bit of digging, and we found a bunch of comments from about 6 months ago where everybody's calling him Tonkasalt and making fun of him. And then, here's the best part. One of the comments says, "We no longer do business with this guy." People asked why, and they never answered. So I decided to dig deep and actually hit the person up that's one of the administrators, and I found out that they had Discord. So I messaged them and I asked them about it by pretending that I was a wrestling recruiter and that Tonka was trying to come up to me for work, just like I had done with the other calls. And I had them look up Robbie Vio, and the minute I brought them up, the guy said, "Oh, I was hoping for somebody of relevance." And I said, "I'm assuming things didn't end well for your partnership," and he said, "No, they did not." And I said, "Do you mind me asking why?" And apparently a lot of his partners and others on the roster were able to see right through him from the start. He's not going to tell me anything personal, but he went ahead and pretty much explained that I'm sure they thought that he was full of shit. I questioned him about, him running his own show and his own ring and everything, and he said he did have his own ring and he ran his own promotion, but the minute the athletic commission took over, he pretty much folded. Apparently, his promotion skills, just like his fighting skills, were not all they were choked up to be. And unfortunately, he had to sell his ring. As far as his fighting ability, I started questioning about that too. He said, as for MMA, the only thing that this guy knows about him doing MMA is that he was part of an MMA Facebook page and podcast. And I said, well, he frequently claims that, he's a fighter and he challenges people to fights. And the guy says, yeah, he did that, and most of it was idle threats. And I said, well, would you say he actually has the skill to back up those threats? Because it seemed like he got his ass whooped a lot in the ring, because he did. And he said, well, it's pro wrestling, it's a work. The only person that he could honestly beat is his ex. And that's literally the only documented person that he knows that Tonka has ever actually beaten. He has a lot of chance to fight several people face to face, but he never did anything. It turns out that even people that know him in real life know that he's a pussy. I mentioned his ex Joya, and he hadn't heard about that, so that means that not only did Tonka beat up one woman, he beat up two. So then we continued to talk about it. The guy didn't want to name who he was, but he said that he's dealt with enough of Tonka's drama queen ask ex shit, and how Tonka freaks out and leaves all the time and always wants to cry. And, at this point, we just continue to go on, and, I thank him for my help and for all those people that claim, I'm sure that his friend Failure is going to go, oh, well, maybe he elemented it, or, maybe it's fake, or maybe he edited some stuff. Well, here's clearly my Discord account, and this is clearly the, I'm moving it around. This is the program for Discord EXE. Here, I'll even Control R, and I'll refresh it. As you can clearly see, Tonka's a loser, and he lies about everything. Now that you've seen that this man has lied about connections to the Fighting Commission, connections to knowing people that can skip the red tape, his professional MMA career, now we're going to go back and we're going to show the way that he acts when he's on YouTube and the shit that he says to a public audience. We're going to go back to the very small cunt stream that not a lot of people have seen so that you can see just how full of shit he is. Let's continue.
Distance.
That's why you're so worried about your grandma getting doxxed or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
What did
you're gonna post a 1099 Tonka? I want to see if you really did make more in one day than I made in my whole career.
You're not getting anything from me, Steve.
That's what I thought. Sit the fuck down, kid.
You sit the fuck down, Steve. Go count my super chats yesterday. Look at your 1099 and cry.
$2,000 doesn't mean fuck all to anybody that does this professionally, Tonka. You're a little dude.
I don't even do it professionally, and I'm outdoing your entire esports career in fucking 10 minutes.
You're a little dude, Tonka, but it's okay, dude. I can respect that. I respect
I just started.
That's why I'm here right now giving you a hand.
I'm already competing with you.
I'm out here right now giving you some viewers, Tonka. So I feel bad for you, dude.
This isn't my channel, you schmuck.
From failed MMA to failed wrestler.
Not failed MMA. No, not failed MMA. No.
Jesus, what a depressing life. Holy shit.
Not failed MMA, not failed wrestling, not even failed YouTube. I just now started doing this shit.
Lying about your height to a little dude who's 5'8". Jeez.
You believe a pro wrestling interview?
What a sad life.
Do you think I have a glass eye too, Steve?
Once again, not a failed MMA fighter, not a failed wrestler. None of that was a failure, because you can't fail if you never actually did it.
What a sad life. It's okay, Tonka.
Do you think the choke slams hurt, Steve?
I see through you, Tonka. I feel for you. I understand.
Choke slams hurt, Steve?
I understand,
pro wrestling,
Tonka. Listen, dude, you're a champion.
Is Hulk Hogan really the toughest man ever?
You're a champion, Tonka.
Hulk Hogan scare you, Steve?
You're a champion, Tonka.
Is Hulk Hogan the man? Unbeatable Hulk Hogan?
Do you have those belts? Are those belts like hanging above your bed or whatever? Do you have them like so when you turn the lights on, you can see them like right above like the champ? 2001 to 2002, like pro wrestling.
No, see, Steve, you don't understand. It's a thing that you could never understand.
What, being a circus performer?
No, being a man. Everything.
Just so you guys know, this is what being a man looks like. It's fighting a dude twice your size, and twice your weight, and twice your height, and then actually thinking you can win, and having him just pick you up like a pillow, and smash you like the bitch you are on the ground till you lose consciousness.
Oh, okay.
Something you'll never understand.
I guess not, Tonka. That would be
I know not, Steve.
Getting triggered as fuck about people on the internet.
What's triggered?
Breakdowns.
No, who's having a breakdown?
Talking about me. I don't know if anybody's talked about me as long as you guys have today.
No,
Plenty of people have talked
Destiny.
about this,
Destiny. Steve.
Nobody's talked about it.
Is it being triggered to be upset at the fact that your grandmother's details, your fucking 80-something-year-old
That's what
innocent
bothers me.
grandmother's details have been leaked out to the public?
I mean, I haven't seen that shit anywhere. I doubt it happened. Or like some guy posted a
So you're
random
very
thing.
honest, and you didn't even see the stuff about the crowd server, so I'm sure that you're wrong.
Tonka's over here getting triggered as fuck. You guys sound like holy shit. Like sadder versions than Anita Sarkeesian over here. Jesus.
You know, someone on Twitter.
Mhm.
Okay, good. I thought I was muted for a second. Said something that is that has to do with this. They said, "I always want to know. I also want to know why Tonka's so mad after he literally doxed his entire family in the threat he made to you. Like, if you cared so much, why did he publish the DM that gives the specifics regarding how one would obtain the names of his entire family?"
That's right. You guys just heard it. His entire family was just doxxed through his bragging about his wrestling career. And he never once stops and corrects it at all. But the thing is you guys don't know the real Tonka. I have got to see the real Tonka, and I'm going to show it to you now. 1 second. I've been putting off talking to anyone for a very long time. So far this year, I've legitimately had nothing positive happen. And in the course of one day, earlier this year, everything that mattered to me at a personal level was greatly disrupted. I left Facebook for that very reason. And since that time, I've had someone do and say a lot of things to me. And people around my life try to get to me, and I've refused to do anything about it. Because that is stupid and gay, and I didn't want to give them what they wanted. Most of you have contacted me, and I ignored you because I didn't know what I could do about it. I was eventually able to shut it out, but it had months to take hold. And for 24 hours or so, I wanted to say something to all the people for the first time in a long time. I used to interact with people all over the world, and on here pretty regularly. And now I may say 4 words a day and have a text conversation once a week. I've missed holidays, birthdays, and responsibilities, but I had to do that for myself. I had a lot of time to think about a lot of things, and I have not come to any conclusions. I was accused of being a coward, among other things, for leaving. And that is fine. But I think I've earned the right to have one time. I have fought many losing battles in life, and I think that I should have the right to finally say that I don't want to fight anymore. And I'm a person just like everyone else, and I think that most of you forget that. I do have a threshold for how much I can deal with, and I have reached that. I understand that if people want to say that I ran, or that I'm a coward, or that I go as far to believe as the things that they've said about me, I won't defend it. I will tell you that I regret it, but that is all. I have a lot of regrets, and I don't know why I have to break now and say something, but I don't know if this will make things better or worse, but I'm hoping that it will make some of you understand and not feel that you have to defend me. You don't. I wouldn't even defend me. I don't wrestle anymore. I don't write articles anymore. And I don't even do interviews anymore. And I have a place, and it wasn't here. I hope that some of you can understand that I won't be around reading anything that is posted. I'm sorry. 1 minute. I'm sorry. I'm having a little cry on Facebook. I hope that some of you can understand that I won't be around to read anything that is posted because I'm logging out, but leaving this up. Thank you for those who do defend me. and tried to check on me. I know your hearts were in the right place, but I just need you to know that it was not needed and that I need no defense. When you see my name, ignore it. I doubt anything like that can ever happen again. But if it does, remember that you are giving them exactly what they want by giving it attention. I'm sorry if any of you feel like I've abandoned you or fucked you over by not saying something sooner, but I just didn't know how to react to things or roll with things like I used to. I hope that you were able to understand this when you read this and know that I do not wish to be defended, talked to, or worried about. For now, I'm just going to exist. Oh, and if you thought this was over, it isn't. For those of you who are unsure who this person is that I'm showing on the screen right now, her name is Joya Lay. She was Tonka's girlfriend, his best gal, and he loved her with all his widow hearts. And do you know what happened to Tonka? The man who talks about how everything is dumb is getting gay and stupid, and everything that everybody talks about is stupid, and loving women is stupid. This is the woman that you have to thank for the mentality and the man that we have today. Because she let Tonka become a cuck. This girl fucked Tonka's best friend. And then, when Tonka tried to have a fight with his best friend over the fact that he fucked his girlfriend, his best friend beat the shit out of Tonka in front of his grandmother's house. And what does Tonka do? He buys the guy a beer. And then gives him his blessing for fucking his girlfriend. Isn't that just hilarious? And then the girl proceeds to troll him and take his Facebook and fuck with him like crazy. Here he is freaking out about it on Facebook. I just think this is all hilarious. As you can see here, the Tonka that you know is not the real Tonka. The Mr. 74-0 MMA fighter who constantly and repeatedly says that everything is dumb and gay and that he would never let a woman get the best of him. He got cocked by his best friend, and then he got his ass whooped. And with a fat lip, he reached down in his little purse and he pulled out a wallet and he bought the guy a beer and gave him his blessing to fuck the woman that he loved. And then he rebrands himself as an undefeatable shit talker and a real man. And he comes on and he talks shit to everybody on the internet. What's really funny is that he even fake left the internet multiple times, just like he did last week. But let's go ahead and get back to the real nitty-gritty of this. Let's get back to him bragging about his career and his money and how rich he is. Because, by the way, he says he owns 4 businesses, and there's no record of him owning a business in Alabama or whatever other state he pretends he lives in. But I can't find any record of him owning any businesses in America, because I can check the Master Business Index. But let's get back to the bullshit. Roll the footage.
If you dig down to that and you find that, then yeah, you've already found my family. If you find that piece of information, you've already found my family, you fucking idiot.
Found what piece of information? What was
Shut
on the
up,
IMDb page?
Shut up, Steve.
Shut the fuck up, Tonka.
Vadim knows what everybody's talking about. Just shut up, Steve. You don't know.
And there's another question, which is, they basically said, don't let them convince you that Tonka kept his wrestling career separate from his Tonkasalt persona. Okay, all right, I can't speak to that. I personally...
What a dumb thing to read, Vadim. Why don't you stop getting all this shit from
I'm
people?
reading random shit, okay? And
stop reading random shit and justify...
So after that, it's just Tonka screaming for like 20 more minutes and just more deflection. So I'm going to just cut all that part out. The reason that he was freaking out was because there's actually an interview with Robbie Vio where he says that he hosts a radio show. And the radio show is called Tap, Nap, and Snap. And when you go listen to the old records of, former archives and backed up podcasts from when he was a host on that, you can clearly see that it's the same voice as Tonkasalt, and he commonly waxes poetic about his imaginary MMA career. You guys make up your own minds, but I think I've laid this to rest.